What's up, guys? Flippin' Steve coming to you from the attic. I bet you didn't think I was going to say that. And what the hell am I doing up here? My wife's at work. It's a bit of a lonely day, so I'd come up here and find someone to help me in my video today. Oh, not you, Hillbilly Jim. Not you, Big Bundy or Sheiky Baby. Get out of the way, Sheiky Baby. There he is. That's who I want right there. Big John Stud. Today I'll be evaluating some raw cards. Dude got some mail coming in. A few mail packages for today's video. Try to find a couple topics throughout the day that randomly pop in my head. I definitely want to flex. That's why I brought the stud with me. One-man operation here as I'm filling out all of these envelopes by hand to ship the Crazy Daisy stickers. But shout out to you, Justin, Troy Peterson, my man, Kyle Baker, Splenda in the house, Michael Hines, longtime supporter of the channel, Spurs cards. Are you going to just sit there, stud, or are you going to help me out with this? And before I could even get out the door, shout out to Joshua for making me run upstairs and print out another label as more Crazy Daisy sticker just sold. Go ahead and knock this out really quickly. What it is are the Crazy Daisy stickers are to help support the national giveaway. I give away a trip every year. This will be the 4th year in a row on the channel. Typically 3 nights at the national. Try to cover as many expenses as I can as far as accommodations, transportation, and even some spending money. I often have people ask me how they can help. So I wanted to try to find a way that they could actually get something in return as opposed to just donating money. So for $4, what I'm calling a donation, you'll get a Crazy Daisy sticker. Contact me on Instagram, and I have actually put them up on eBay. However, eBay is going to be a little bit more money because they're going to take their fees. Full transparency, all my costs, the stickers, shipping, materials, is going to run me right around $200. And I'm looking to make about $400 because I had 100 stickers printed, which means that'll be $200 to go towards the national trip giveaway. Some people have donated more, but that's strictly optional, and I thank anybody who wants to participate. Little test run towards the trading cards. If this goes over well, then this will kind of let me know that I could maybe put out trading cards that you guys might like. And like I said, there was only 100 of the stickers printed. I will not print more for the sake of selling more. There will only be 100 of these Crazy Daisy Color Blast made. It's only been 1 day, and at least 30 of them are already gone. Now, before I could even get out the door, I had Paul, Shelly, Joe, and Kyle all also decided they wanted to chip in towards the national giveaway and pick themselves up a Crazy Daisy Color Blast sticker. Because you guys are absolute beasts. Look, stud, I got to run this mail in. You just sit here and protect the car, all right? In today's video, I want to talk about card flipping and the difficulties that you may run into when you're looking to buy cards. And I'm strictly going to talk from a buyer's standpoint in this video because that is a majority of what I've been doing recently. I want to try to relay this to you the best that I can without necessarily getting difficulty confused with riskiness. They're 2 different things, and you've often heard me talk about risk and different levels of risk in past videos. I don't want it to be as it pertains to hard work, because I think everybody knows there is some sort of effort that goes into flipping cards, whether you're full-time or part-time. The workload is going to be dependent on what type of card flipper that you are. No, stud, I am not the best flipper. I can't even do a somersault. People talk about how easy it is to flip cards and how easy it is to buy and how difficult it is to sell. Now, I will say buying is easier than selling. There are some major difficulties that do come with buying cards. I'm going to try to hit on a couple factors that affect me and my style of flipping, and this may not apply to all of you guys out there or any of you guys out there. You guys may do things completely different than me. I'm going to talk about some of the snags that I run into just as a part-time card flipper. What's that? What's that? Did you get into the beef jerky while I was gone? Yes, you did. Don't tell me no. Don't look away from me. You ate the whole pack. You didn't even save any for me. Time to evaluate some cards, but first, we're going to check out some mail because you will not see these being evaluated today. Got a Plates and Patches Arcade Mode Travis Kelce, another one of the steel cards with the cool retro look, and they're numbered out of 25. And another Topps Finest Gold Refractor, this time Curtis Martin, numbered out of 300. Now personally, one of the hardest things for me is building inventory. As someone who likes to buy a lot of raw cards to get graded, as you can see, nitro gloves, that's what I use. I got a MagnaPros magnifier here. A lot of people ask me about this. I talk about it in videos, and then I get asked again. I guess you can look up magnapros.com and find it. I bought mine on Amazon. I don't have a link. But me, as someone who's trying to find high quality raw cards, I find that difficult to do. Now, most of the time, you're going to have to buy them online which is a whole other video. I talked about risk of buying raw cards online. But not only is it risky, it's just hard to find them. A lot of times, if you're grading ultra modern, you're going to run into issues with quality control, you're going to run into pricing, and you're going to develop trust issues on what you can and cannot buy when it comes from being worthy to grade. If you're buying older, if you're buying vintage, it's really hard to trust because there's going to be altered cards. And if you try to buy it in person off a trustworthy seller, you're going to run into the problem of the price, where people don't tend to sell their raw vintage cards below what they actually think the card is going to grade out at. With no one in the deal actually being a professional grader, a dealer might be like, okay, I think that's going to grade a 4. That's going to be the value that I place on it. And sometimes that could come to a head. I don't deal much at all in vintage raw cards. In fact, zero. So I'm not even going to talk about that much. But I can tell you on some issues that I've had on buying stuff from the 90s, stuff from my era that I've been buying a lot of lately. You saw the Curtis Martin Gold Refractor. And the issues that you run into is just finding those in gradable condition. Even when you look at the photos, here's a Barry Sanders Platinum portrait that I picked up. And in the photos, I could tell that it had a slight print line on the front. However, when I got it home in the mail, you could see what looks like a complete gouge right on his face. This may actually be the only card that I ever file for a return on eBay, because I do realize the risks going in. It's not a risk video, but the difficulty not only in finding cards that you think that you can grade online at a fair price. I'm going to get into the price in a moment because there's a couple things that affect the price. Also, being able to trust pulling the trigger on what you're going to get, as opposed to what actually may be in a photo. My second Joe Burrow Plates and Patches American Metal case hit. This card is just super clean. I love the design on these, the big old American flag behind the player. I think metal cards are actually kind of neat. Would they technically be cards though if they're metal? The cardboard? Metal board? I don't know. What do you guys think? 6 cards in. Finally have my first reject. Going in the reject pile. That one will not be getting submitted. In a 9, I don't think it'll sell for more than the price of the card and the grading fee. That's another thing I want to talk about when it comes to buying raw cards. Something that a lot of people don't mention that much is the inverse effect that grading has had on the value of raw cards. You all know that getting a slab, getting a 10 on a card causes that card to then draw a premium on the secondary market. However, when people see that PSA 10s are selling at a certain price, they can then raise the cost of their raw cards because they can say, hey, this is a 9 or a 10. And I know going all the way back to even when I was a kid at the LCS, cards were sold based on condition, and there were certain things we didn't even pay attention to, such as centering. All we ever cared about was, is that card mint? But nowadays, it's all about getting a 10. It's all about having it in a slab. It's all about the extra premium people are willing to pay for a raw card just because of the possibility that it could be a 10. And that is even hurting the price of PSA 9s, or any 9 from any grader, because people want 10s, and then they will purchase a raw card at a higher price than they would a PSA 9, an SGC 9, a BGS 9, what have you, just based on the fact that it could be a 10. And that is a big factor that is driving up the cost of raw cards. And then when you don't get 10s, you really can start to take a hit on your turnarounds. We talked about trying to get inventory and the pricing and things that affect on whether or not you can get good deals or not. The other difficult thing that I found for myself is someone who was out of the game for pretty much most of 2023 because I was buying a new home and my focus wasn't on buying and selling cards. Aaron Rodgers looks awesome. Was that when I got back in, building up my inventory, I was going to need to have a lot of funds to put forward. That is another thing that can really be a snag for some people. They may not have the money to front to build inventory. And then sometimes they will over leverage themselves by getting themselves in debt. The key to being successful is to constantly have inventory going out as you have it in, and it's just one big cycle of cards coming in, getting graded, being sold, but you're never really in a lapse of where you have no income coming in from your inventory. Sometimes when you have to start off in that rut, it's very difficult to persevere through it and to see the other side and say, well, if I can wait and I have the potential to do really good. The example that I can give for myself is I currently have 45 raw cards that just went out about a week and a half ago to PSA. That's 45 cards. If I was to just say on average, I have $100 in each card, plus my grading fees, I'm going to say there's at least $5,000 right there tied up in just that order. And that's a really, really low figure based on what it actually is. Also in front of me, I'm prepping cards I have at least 40 more. So if I apply that same number, that's about another $4,000 in just cards. Then I'm going to have fees on top of it, and I probably have 10 to 15 more cards coming in the mail. So when you do the math, I have at least $10,000 that is tied up in inventory right now. I can't even sell a majority of it because it's not even in my possession, and all this stuff still has to go through the process of getting to the grader, getting decent enough grades to where I don't take big losses, and getting back to me before I can even sell, decide, choose my platform, how I want to do it. So again, a very difficult thing that I would say for a majority of people is being able to just front that money without any regret or without any worry if it doesn't work out. It's really going to hurt you personally from a financial standpoint. To make it difficult for people to get started, it's a tough decision to put it out there like that, even when you have it. For me, one of my biggest assets that I don't have enough of is time. And I know that applies to a lot of people. If I had the time to get out to lots and lots of card shows, take vacations on the weekends to go to these shows, I'd be able to buy more quality raw cards in person, like this Tom Brady numbered out of 25 that I picked up in Philly. I'd be able to buy and sell, the more quick flips, buy a card for $1,000, sell it for $1,200. That you see a lot of your bigger favorite vloggers doing out there. The only reason that that's simple is because they're in that spot at that time. It's not something that you can necessarily carry out at home. Again, for me, time is huge, as well as overextending myself. And I mean overextension as it means remaining disciplined. I talked about being disciplined in a video, but I am also faulty at not being very disciplined at times where I get too much inventory, or I feel like I have too much inventory just for a one-man operation like myself. Get it all graded, get it all submitted. And that's not even talking about when I finally get it back, how I'm going to sell it all. Personally, for me, I will use someone to submit my cards for me, or like that 45 card order, because I just don't have the time and their service is more valuable to me. I wouldn't recommend that to anybody because you got to find somebody that you can trust. I trust the person that does it for me, and I drop them off in person. I don't mail them in. People out there that will tell you to never do it, whether it's from a trust factor or it makes you lazy or whatever. Most of those people are talking from a full-time card flipper standpoint, and that's all that they do all day long. Shit, eat, drink, sleep cards. That's just not me. Currently, right now, I am trying to take advantage of PSA's deal that they have going on for the month. I believe it's $17 for Ultra Modern. So I'm doing the Ultra Modern football submission. I'll look to send that one in myself because I can get a discount. However, some of the 90s refractors and stuff that you guys have seen me buying, I will probably be dropping them off at the Chantilly show to be submitted. Matt Stafford out of 10. Pick this up for $10. Get a $17 slab on it. Even if I sell it for $40, I have potential to make a little bit of money. Thinking to myself, wouldn't it be fun to prospect on another young QB's market this season? Pay no attention to the cheap Des Ridder slab. What's that, stud? I'm a know-it-all and you don't like my videos? I don't know what to tell you, man. Don't watch them then. Hold on a second. I think I see something on your chest. I'm encouraged about this grading session. Only had one dud out of all these cards, which kind of negates what I was talking about, finding high-quality raw cards. However, you do got to put the money out there for them. Bryce Young, case hit. Anthony Richardson out of 5. Hurts, case hit. Flamethrower Stroud out of 199. Case hit Rodgers. Case hit Mahomeburger. Richardson out of 149, I believe, in the white. Kelsey out of 25. How did this get in there? Joe Burrow, case hit. Bryce Young, case hit and case hit. Double Will Levis on the American Metal case hits. 35 out of 35, Fire and Ice Aaron Rodgers. Brady out of 25. Matt Stafford out of 10. Bo Nix auto. College product. And a Bobby Witt. Just realized that the video is already approaching 15 minutes, so I'm going to have to wrap it up there, guys. And I didn't even get to say everything I wanted to say, which means you're just going to have to come back for the next video. Unless, of course, you do not enjoy my content.
All that money. Look at that. Freddie Blassie hanging on his stud. Hangs on.
But if you do, Crazy Daisy and myself, would you like to thank the people for their support? Would you like to thank the people? Would you like to clean up your toys? We'll see you in the next one.